Welcome back to the MANN channel.
Yeah!
Alright, so you must have noticed my Alabama friends did my intro for me, and that's because me and my family took a trip to Alabama here recently, and I had the chance to connect with Baker and his brother James and get a ride behind his M235, and it was a great time. Our main reason for going on the trip was to see our brand new nephew. Our brand new nephew was actually born back in December, but because he was born prematurely, we weren't able to get out to see him right away. And originally we had planned on going to meet him in April, but because of the pandemic, we canceled those plans because at that time we were very unsure about what we should do. And so with further thought, we decided in the next year, which is probably what it's going to take before there's a vaccine for the coronavirus, what would be the best time to go? Because my wife definitely did not want to wait until there was a vaccine to go visit her new nephew. We decided it was probably best to go now when everybody's wearing masks and airports are probably the cleanest they've been since I've been alive. And people haven't had a chance yet to get into a more relaxed state about the coronavirus, which I think is probably going to start to happen in the next few months. Our flights were actually a little bit cheaper than normal, so that was a plus. But we sort of expected the planes would be somewhat empty, and so would the airports. And to our surprise, the flights that we were on and the connecting airport, which was just Dallas-Fort Worth, were just as busy as I've ever seen them. The good news is, though, everybody was wearing masks, and the airports and airlines were being very clean. They were cleaning the bins after every use, and the planes are getting cleaned down after every use. So I think that helped our chances in not contracting the coronavirus. Probably our biggest concern throughout the whole trip is that there was no way that we're going to be able to keep a mask on our 18-month-old. So in other words, if she was somewhere where she could get it, there was a good chance she could get it. But so far, so good. We are just about to hit our 2-week mark of quarantining after returning, and no signs of the coronavirus so far. I was going to do a lot more filming of the airports and airplanes, but it turned out it was pretty normal other than the masks, so I just didn't do as much, and I didn't want to weird people out with all my cameras in their face. So getting to the meat of this video, like I said, I was able to hang out with Baker and James on Baker's M235. It was my first time riding behind an M235. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to try out the Surfwave because he was having some technical difficulties with his boat. In fact, he took it to the dealer immediately after we were done. But he was nice enough to still take us out on his boat, even though his boat was malfunctioning in certain ways. It was still working to a degree that allowed us to wakeboard behind it, and we wakeboarded a lot. I was super impressed by the M235's ability to keep a clean wake at any level that you put the wedge, and it was a bigger wake, and I was having a lot of fun. The hard part was the fact that because he was having trouble with the boat, we didn't know where the wedge was sitting at. The indicator wasn't working, and so it was a little bit of a crapshoot of what the wedge was going to be at. Once we got close to the end of the day, we kind of figured out how to get where we wanted to, but the water was pretty chopped up by then. So, but either way, I had a lot of fun. Baker did a great job of driving me. Usually if I have a boat driver that hasn't driven me before, it's a toss-up whether or not they're going to do a good job. But you could tell he's had a lot of experience pulling wakeboarders, and that worked out great. And because the weather there is so much warmer than here, the water temps were already in the high 70s, and that's what I get in the middle of my season. So I was loving the fact that I could ride without a wetsuit, and my body was nice and warmed up and not stiff. And because of that, I was able to get several of my tricks back. I got my hillside frontside 360, I got my hillside backside 360, I got my switch 540, and I got my tantrum. All tricks that usually take me a few more weeks to get back in my season. I was also impressed by both James and Baker going at the wake. Baker's getting good at jumping wake to wake. And James is just starting to learn. You can tell that they've had somebody giving them good advice on how to learn, because when I was at their stage, I had a lot of bad habits. And I was impressed because Baker started trying back rolls. And you'll see all that, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the clips right now. All right, so you can tell that we had a lot of fun. Thanks again, Baker, for letting me come out on your boat. I hope to be able to connect up with you again. And I also have a few clips left over to show you because we did have a chance to get to the beach while we were there, and Wakely loved the beach. So stay tuned if you want to watch those clips. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.
He likes it now.